Gentlemen, it is my pleasure and great honor to announce that this will be the last stream for the year 2025, as we're going to finish what we started a couple of hours ago, painting this Primaris Captain in Gravis Armour in the color scheme of the Celestial Spears, my own homebrewed chapter. Alright, I'm very interested to see who will show up. It is currently 2:30 AM for me, roughly 2:30, it's 2:27. And yeah, girlfriend is already asleep, we share one room, so this might turn into a little bit of an ASMR session in between takes. I hope that's not too much of a turn off or turn on for some of you. But yeah, alright, we're going to keep going right where we left off. Hang on, is actually everything all connected? Yes, we're live on Twitch, we are live on YouTube. And yep, we're just live in general. Let's go, let's see where this goes. This might be a little bit of a disaster, who knows? I'm not that familiar with this time slot. But tomorrow, during this time, I will have already left the building many times over and headed to my family. So hang on, can we do something about that white balance? I'm not sure. Yes, the wash is already completely dry. And now I just wanna mix up some Ushep de Bone with White Scar once again to paint the last layer, or rather the almost last layer of the off-white eggshell white from earlier over this now washed layer of armor. The wash did do its job. I wanted it to, you know, turn down the mess of the overall paint job that we did with the rough layers that we laid on before. And I also wanted to shade everything rather nicely, and I think it did that just fine. So let's see if I mix it up in the correct amount. There's always a little bit of guesswork with this scheme. But yeah, should be alright. Yep, this is pretty much alright. Alright. So I hope you're liking the music. We're once again being joined by a little bit of not too jazzy jazz for the last time again this year. And I'm just really happy to, you know, as much as I will miss you, of course, at the same time I'm also very happy to finally be able to, you know, call it a day, say job done, and head home to my family for the holidays. Which sounds so dramatic. You know, it's obviously been a great time with you, it's been a great time editing. The reason we're starting a little bit late is just because of that editing. I did stay up a little bit longer to make sure that there are enough videos coming out during the 2 weeks of my absence that I do not have to worry at all about anything. And yeah. Now that should be the case. You will get uninterrupted uploads every day till the 3rd of January 2026. I'll see if I'm back then already. And if not, you know, I need to do something. Let's feather this a little bit in. The contrast is a little bit stark. It's a little bit too watery here. That's fine. Roughly like this, a little bit like this. Okay. Next is the leg. And with this we'll just work around our way around the entire miniature. The name of the game right now is just to add details without ruining the paint job, basically. We don't want to overdo it. That is something that happens rather quickly, so we need to be careful about that. Though I'm rather confident that it should be okay. Warhammer 40k. You know, I've started my journey for Warhammer 40k with an Astra Militarum army, because I was sick after, after playing High Elves for my entire stay of Warhammer Fantasy. I was sick and tired of being outgunned every single goddamn battle. So I chose the army with what seemed to be the biggest artillery roster in the universe. And yeah, then I moved on to, took a quick dip into Eldar, took a quick dip into the Ynnari and Corsair faction in general. After that, I did a little bit of, I stayed, of course, true to my Astra Militarum the entire time. Then I collected some knights, a couple of knights, only one of which I built. One knight and 2 armigers, so that never got to be a huge project. And now, finally, after all this time, I traded my Necrons to Theinrich for his share of the Leviathan box. The Space Marine Leviathan part. And yeah, never really got around to building them till now. And of course, this miniature is not from the Leviathan box set, but indeed from a self-made advent calendar that my girlfriend made for me. The perfect opportunity to get to painting a different mini every day for the entirety of December. You know, build, paint, film everything, and also, get back to the hobby the way it was meant to be. Just fun, just experimenting, just collecting an army because, basically that's what you've got, right? Delving into the hobby almost every day. Very, very sweet. I really like this. And when I come back, there are a lot of Space Marines still left for me to paint. So a lot of chapters that still need exploring, like the Raven Guard. The Dark Angels, I'm really not happy with how I portrayed them so far. My experiment with the forestry green of the first miniature that we painted on the 1st of December. I think that didn't really work out too well. So I'd rather now want to try a different approach. Not quite sure how though. That being said, my girlfriend did also get me a pot of Dark Angel contrast paint, which is something I usually would have never bought for myself. But you do what you do. Going to see if maybe I can use it as like some sort of glaze, maybe, to get the right color that I want for that. But all of that in due time. For now, we of course have to focus on this Celestial Spear, the homebrewed Space Marine chapter that I did myself, based off of the 212 attack battalion from Star Wars. If you're not too familiar with Star Wars, that is the regiment led by Obi-Wan Kenobi, the guys in white and orange. Now, this guy in particular doesn't have much orange on here. I wanted to paint him in a very striking orange tone, but my girlfriend objected to that. She wanted to have him be very light, very beige, very regal looking. And then as the stream progressed, we just, I just took a lot of different opinions on his paint job into consideration. Mostly regarding, for example, his cape and the rest of his armor. And yeah, everybody seemed to really like what we were doing here with this guy. So I guess we just did the right... We made the right call with this one. Most importantly, my girlfriend was quite happy to see him after the wash stage. And as long as she's happy, this entire endeavor has been a complete success. Though I do still think that he looks more like a white consul now. Especially if the cape were, like, was green, right? Okay. Is the music even playing? I can't barely hear it. Hello? Okay. Okay, who knows? Let's see where this goes. Streaming every day has made me a lot more confident in my ability to control and mix audio. I just hope that confidence is not misplaced, and that this actually sounds as good for you as it does for me. Oh yeah. Next year is going to be very interesting, because I really want to do a lot of stuff for Twitch and YouTube. But at the same time, this year I really need to negotiate the way I spend my time. Simply because, like my time and attention, because my diploma is very much on the horizon. And, you know, responsibly speaking, I do need to focus all of my attention on that. That is very important. Can't slack off on that. Not that I want to, you know, I was able to choose the topic of my diploma myself. And I think I do have a very solid plan. Though, YouTube definitely has me hooked. I do want to do more. It's like Anakin, you know? I want to do more, but I know I shouldn't. Well, one project that is going to be very breathtaking though, I think, especially for me who has to do all those videos, is gonna be Dark Water. I'm really, like, it's going to be really interesting to see how the miniatures actually end up looking, and how well the speed painting guides will work. Though the miniatures in and of themselves are, of course, going to be of the highest quality. I'm sure of it. There we go. Okay. I'll probably need to mix up some color after this one, simply because I've just run out of it. I mix all of my stuff on just a regular piece of tissue paper. And, you know, for no reason at all. Because I literally do have not one but two different palettes, a wet palette and a regular wooden palette. The wooden palette is technically speaking in use. It is holding some of the oil paints that I'm using for some portraits right now. But the other palette definitely should be available. I could do that. Just too lazy to set it up, basically. So let me quickly mix up some more of this off-white color. The U-shape debone is very essential here. There we go. go. Oh yeah, the battle damage over here on the power pack actually looks quite nice now, but it's not what I wanted for this thing. That really just happened on accident. Like proper battle damage. Low accurate battle damage. Alright. Yeah, I'm also very hyped to see... Like in Space Marine 2 you can customize a lot of miniature... like your Space Marine of course, according to your wildest dreams, especially in terms of color combinations. So I actually could bring my own Celestial Spears to life over there. Now, after everything they showed for Total War Warhammer40k, I'm even more intrigued to see if I can pull the same off in that game as well. Making my own chapter, the Celestial Spears. Imperial Fist successors. That's going to be very intriguing. To, I think, a lot of people. Like, who doesn't want to see their own army in glorious battle, glorious simulated combat? I think that's just a no-brainer. So, oh yeah. There we go. I think this is going rather well. I think we can already call it a wrap on this specific layer. Have I missed anything? Maybe here? And here on the fist. Again, originally I planned on painting this guy a lot more, now he actually looks a lot more like an Empress child than a Imperial Fist successor being so decked out in regalia. Huh. Well. Last stream of the year. Is even somebody here? Or am I talking to myself like a schizo? Oh wow, 3 people are actually here. Okay, never mind. Holy shit, welcome to the stream, welcome to the evening. For me it's 2:44 AM in the morning. I'm highly intrigued what it is over where you're watching from. If you are just, you know, suffering from insomnia and watching this to finally be able to fall asleep too. Or another, like other reasons. I've heard a lot of people, for example, I had a guy from Great Britain tell me that his baby woke him up and now he was basically, you know, making it go back to sleep, you know, calming it down. Anyway, he was watching my stream on the side while cradling his newborn. Very sweet guy. So that's that. What else do we need here? In terms of details. Nah, not over there. I think a little bit of a calmer contrast. There's a little bit of paint left over on my brush right now, and I'm just using it to feather in a little bit more of the details. And I think getting out some pure white scar right now. Actually crazy to see that white scar is actually colder than, warmer than Ushabti bone. But yeah, some white scar for the brightest highlights. So for example here on his collar. Just, you know, very sparingly. We don't want the guy to be completely white. Just want to bring some extra depth into him, into this mini. Here on the leg. Ooh. these late morning or late night streams do be hitting differently if you don't, if you really are just continuing from the previous day, right? So sometimes, the first time I did a stream this late, or rather this early, was because I fell asleep with my girlfriend too early. And then we woke back up at 3 o'clock, and I was like, well, might as well stream now. And that's how I ended up here. And the other times I streamed this late, I also tried to sleep beforehand, but now this is something very special. This is almost a 24-hour challenge here. Not the best thing if you want to drive tomorrow. That's okay. At least I can sleep well knowing that I did my utmost. And this is also going to be a very relaxing VOD. So for anybody watching this in the VOD, I hope you're having a great time. Falling asleep to the sweet, sweet, slow saxophone jazz. And me painting on the last touches for this captain in Gravis Armour. But yeah. I wonder how many other people, like, regarding if they watch me right now or not, but just how many other people in general are right now up late, listening to maybe something similar as I do, painting their miniatures. Maybe, for example, as a present for their friend. Maybe just cause. I definitely need to remember to pack my high elves tomorrow. I have exactly one scheduled game every year. That's the game with my friends who live back home. And this time it's going to be high elves against high elves and lizardmen against Empire, so an alliance fight. I'm unsure if both Empire players are present or if it's just gonna be one, but it's going to be a spectacle nonetheless. There we go. Speaking of spectacle, this is actually going really well over here, I think. If it's a little bit more on the rougher side, that's, you know, even intended, I'd say. I think it's quite nice to sometimes be able to see the brush ductus. Of course, it's not so nice if the paint has just been applied very thickly. Like, you know, the meme one thick coat. That's, of course, never really aesthetic in any meaning of the word. But to be able to see it with, like, thin glazes, the way that the brush moved over the plate, I think that can be very fun. I do have a problem that my eyes are getting foggy from the sleep deprivation. Not the best thing in the world, I'll tell you that. Alright, okay. I think next up I do want to do a little bit more with his coat. This gradient from Baragnar Burgundy to Corn Red is kinda nice, but I do want to see if a dash of Mephiston Red would make it pop a little more. Oh, did the music stop? No. Okay. There we go. So. Just trying to paint the very rigid... No, that's Corn Red, that's not Mephiston Red. I was saying, that is way too mild for Mephiston Red. Hang on, hang on, hang on. There we go. So, just feathering that in. Now, the fist in red. You can really see the difference in how stark this color really is. Just make the coat pop a little more. Just painting the very well illuminated parts with it. There we go, same here. Okay. This works, though it is a little bit stark. Let me actually just moisten up the brush and just feather it in a little bit more. Feathering is basically just taking a moist brush and softening up the edges of whatever paint you previously applied. It's not supposed to be wet, but really just a moist brush. You could say it's critical for it to be moist. Moist critical. But yeah, there we go. I'm not quite sure if that actually looks so nice as I thought it would. Or rather, as I hoped it would. Ooh, that actually looks kind of nice. Okay, hang on. Let me dare a little bit more with the fold down here. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. I think this really is something. Okay. Is there anything you guys hope for Christmas? I know a couple of people who have gotten sick right now, right before the holidays are upon us. I hope those people return to their best health for, you know, the special day. And hope that they'll be able to take part in the celebration. Always so frustrating when you get sick right before a rare or, you know, important event. I once had to hold off, so before Corona, oh hang on. City Pie says, looking good so far, mate. Hey, thank you very much. We painted up the first stage of this bad boy during the first stream of today, a couple of hours ago. Now I just want to finish him up. Last stream of the year, I do want to finish him, definitely. He is supposed to lead these Marines, so I'm not quite sure if that actually comes through. Currently thinking of maybe incorporating more orange into his armor. Problem with that though is that my girlfriend really likes him the way he is right now. She says I shouldn't do that. And you know, as you might know yourself, doing what the girlfriend says is imperative. Nah, that sounds a little bit weird. You know, just want to keep her happy. She's my target audience, after all. And she's the one who actually gave me this miniature. So I'm honored to paint it to her specifications. What brings you to this stream so late at night, or rather early in the morning? It is almost 3 AM for me, yeah. What brings you here, City Pie? City Pie, right? Oh yeah. I can't edge highlight for the life of me, so this is very inspiring to get off my ass and actually highlight my minis. Oh, definitely do. I mean, edge highlighting I also really don't like. I only highlight, you know, these ridges because they do catch the most light at this very moment. But if you see, have a look at the armor, you know, I don't do any edge highlighting myself here. Though I wonder if we should maybe incorporate a little bit of wrench into the cape as well. Not quite sure, I don't want to overdo it. Maybe I'll leave that for the time being. Which miniatures are you painting that you're looking, or rather not looking forward to highlighting? Okay. Time to log back in. Let me get some flash gets yellow for the small yellow cable on his power gauntlet. Or rather, bulge gauntlet? I'm not too familiar with Space Marine nomenclature. I try my very best, but when it comes to like specific parts of certain equipment, I'm lost. I saw your stream on my YouTube feed and clicked on it. You earned a sub too. Oh, thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear that. Hopefully you'll find even more cool stuff and interesting VODs on my channel. We just cracked the 4,000 subscriber mark yesterday, so I'm very much looking forward to even more people joining the community. I hope you find what you're looking for in terms of hopefully entertaining content. Though I'm very embarrassed to say that the last video of this year for me will actually be a reaction video. I'm so sorry. I took a bet that I would release 12 videos this year, and I did way more than that, but like 12 long form videos. And I would have lost it if it wasn't for the reaction. I had to release that. But yeah, glad to see that. There we go. Deck 4 says, I always struggle with the ridges on the cloak, so glad to see the feathering technique. Keen to try it now? Oh yeah, please do, definitely do. It can be a bit tricky. It doesn't work all the time because it really is imperative that you keep your brush like that you have a moist brush and not a wet brush. So for example, I don't know if my camera can show this. So this, of course, would be too much if the brush is like completely rounded because it is loaded up with so much water. But if you dampen it with like a tissue that you have nearby and you have like just a sheen of water, like a slight shine, that's pretty well. Like somewhere between those two is the optimum for painting, for feathering. But yeah, where should we incorporate? Yeah, the technique would be so good to use on the new Kalga Minis cloak. Ooh, yeah. The new Kalga does look kinda sick. I do agree with a lot of people that say that it is kinda ridiculous that he's got not one, but in fact 2 re-releases. But apart from that, I think, you know, at least the re-releases are looking very nice. Speaking of very nice, I think it's time to get myself some gold on my hand. Oro Glorioso, or Glorious Gold, as Game Color calls their color. I've tried many different true metallic metals in my time. And I gotta say, every single one, let me take a sip. Every single one is better than Games Workshop's true metallic gold. It's actually insane. I don't know how they're still the only company who doesn't get it right. So City Pie, from your comments I gather that you are maybe an Ultramarine player, if you're talking about Calgar? That's the only thing I have to deduce for myself. And you clicked on a Space Marine painting stream, so that's of course another indicator. You got that right, haha. Oh, bingo, let's go. Detective of art right here. On the brink of murder mysteries. Alright, cool. New to the blueberries. Oh, really? Well, I think you picked pretty much the best time. Every single model now, of course, has been more or less re-released, redone, revamped. Very sweet looking miniatures. I got the new Battle Force to start with. Oh. So is it the big one with the 2 dreadnoughts, or is it the basically the new version of Spearhead? But yeah, that's a great start. Those are always rather good deals. Let me actually take a detail brush now. It really bothers me that his eye lenses are not done. No, I need a Calidor Sky. I need a Calidor Sky that's not dried up. Bingo! Alright. I got started with Space Marines this month as well. I've had some for quite some time now. But it was finally my girlfriend that pushed me to finally paint them more or less by getting myself a couple of Space Marines and basically making an advent calendar out of it. So every day I was able to unpack a new Space Marine, and I promised to build and paint him the very same day. If you have a look on my channel, and especially my VODs, you will see that that was not the case. The second week of December pretty much derailed me, because during that time pretty much everyone in my family has their birthday. So that were quite a lot of celebrations to be had. And after that I never managed to catch quite back up. There we go. Still feels so... Hang on. I got the Terminator's box and the one with the 2 dreadnoughts. Oh wow, okay, holy shit. Then you did really go all out. The Terminator's box is really cool though. Funnily enough, if it was available when it was announced, I probably would have gotten it myself as well. But after I had some more time to think, I was able to overcome that impulse buy for me. Because again, like, I have enough miniatures to keep, you know, these streams coming for a quite long while. Is it also your first experience with miniature painting in general, or is it just the blueberries that you're new to? I mean, you are already calling them blueberries, so I would say that you are in the hobby for a little bit longer. It's not the most gate-kept of nicknames, but still. Okay, in terms of the rest, though. There's a smaller box with Assault Thermis, right? Yeah, I think so. Sure. Yeah, I'm a bit new, but I first did CSM. What's that? CSM is Chaos Space Marines. Dang. Starting off on the wrong foot over there. No, the Chaos Marines are actually very dope. And at least they did get some stuff too. I know the Year of Chaos gets memed on a lot, but to be very frank, I think the big winner of the Year of Chaos was definitely Nurgle in Age of Sigmar. So I actually need to gather up some reference now. Hang on, you can join me in a second, because I'm not sure about one thing. Wow, am I looking pale right now? What's happening? Why is the white balance so off? The trim was a pain. I quit the Chaos Space Marines. Yeah. Chaos Space Marines really have a tough time with trims, all of the trims, my gosh. Alright, that's the wrong one, this is the right one. Okay, I'm looking for Cody specifically. So, he has... Can I get like an up-close shot? Nah. There we go. He has like these teeth marks on his helmet in orange. And he has an orange visor. I think we can do that. I think we can. He has also like some other markings here and there. But again, I don't want to have it too... I don't want to go too crazy. I remember when the Beakies came out, the Beaky Marines for Horus Heresy. And the people's first reaction was like, oh, thank God, there are no trims to paint. I've not been painting Space Marines for long enough to, you know, hedge a bit with either idea. Alright, this XV8 actually looks quite bad. Is this... Yeah, no, this is the right one though. I'm building up the... Sorry, hang on. I'm building up the orange gradually, starting with XV88. I'm really doing it the Tau way. Because I do still think that this guy needs some orange. By the way, if you want to share what you did, you know, what project you're currently working on, I do have a Discord server as well as an Instagram account where you can send pictures to for me to review live on stream, if that is something that might interest you. Get this rejected art student to tell you how he feels about your miniatures. Alright. I followed your Instagram, joining the Discord now. Holy shit, alright, okay, that's very quick. Ina Francesca just subscribed. On YouTube? Holy shit. Wow. This is going great, okay. Hey guys, thank you very much for joining. I'm very happy to have you here. My fingers are already itching for more projects and more painting. And I am sad to announce that, you know, this is actually the last stream of the year. So I'm very sorry about that. But I hope that you will find, you know, respite with my backlog of VODs and videos and the great projects of next year. That would be my partner? Oh really? Oh dang. What? That's so sweet. I think I'll try something very different. Because I'm not sure where to put the orange accents, I'll just put them where the scrolls are, where the parchment is. Is your girlfriend or wife, you know, partner can mean many things. Is she also like a Warhammer enthusiast? Because I do know a lot of you know, couples who watch my stream, you know, only by one person and the other just joins in. I didn't know you had a public Discord, just joined too, says Bearded Drauger. Holy shit, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I had the Discord. The Discord is very young, and I'm very excited to see so many people joining. I really did not think it would be that popular. We've got almost like 20 people over there. She's doing Adapter Sororitas. I told her to watch your stream with me. That's so cool, dude. And so cool of her as well to follow right along. Adapter Sororitas. Hell yeah. Such a cool faction. The first novel that got me into Warhammer lore and the Black Library was a Adeptus Sororitas short story. Very, very cool. Really like that one. I think the Order of the Rose it's called. Or something. It's not Her Martyred Lady. Not sure. Or rather, I'm quite sure it's not. Very cool. Bearded Draugr, what brings you here? How's it going, man? What project are you up to? We already have an Adeptus Sororitas in here. We do have a Ultramarine here. The Ultramarine is actually the one chapter that I haven't painted all December. Huh. Maybe I need to get to that as well. Though unfortunately already next year. Don't get me wrong, I'm looking very much forward to finally be able to take a break from uploading daily. And of course university and everything as well. But dang. Still gonna miss it though. Whoops. Whoop. Very cool, very cool. So, there we go. Mixed up some Fire Dragon, no, Troll Slayer Orange with the XV88 for the second coat. This time, trying to make sure that we pronounce... Okay, that immediately went wrong. I wanted to pay special attention to the way it folds in of itself. There we go. I think this is probably the right way to incorporate the orange as like a very small accent color. And wouldn't you know it, the only message from Twitch is once again a viewbot. Let's go. A viewbot advertisement. Well. The abominable intelligence is once again upon us. Oh, well, intelligence is maybe far-fetched. Okay. I'm very intrigued to see how the Adeptus Sororitas is going to... if they're going to get any new model releases as well soon, because I haven't heard from them in a while. In terms of like new models, though they did get this one like special model, right? With the fleur-de-lis coming out of the scepter thingy. I don't know how else to describe it. But yeah. They did get a special character model, I think. But I'm not sure if that was like a limited edition or like another ploy for Warhammer Plus. I only recently saw it on eBay for 70 bucks, and that to me always screams limited edition. Or maybe commemorative series or something. So, now we take a very fine brush once again. And paint the streaks on his helmet. Or rather the teeth. Okay. I think that's cool. That's just the right amount of orange and chaos with this miniature. The more new Primaris I paint, the more I get what people say that they're like being overloaded with details. On the regular Marines, I can't really say that. Oh, it's Lunas! Holy shit, you're still up? Wow, okay. Man, happy to see you here. How are you doing, Lunas? I'm very sorry that I couldn't do the digital art stream till before the end of the year. Just wasn't possible. If I had one more day, then maybe I could have, but I'm already leaving tomorrow, so I can't. playing Return to Moria. Oh, missed the previous stream by 30 minutes. Oh yeah. I did end it a little bit early. Or rather, I started earlier to end it earlier. But yeah. My gosh, my voice is so strained. I've been talking non-stop for almost like 7 hours now. Return to Moria, where are you? What is your current status on that game? Because I did dabble a little bit in it myself. But I don't want to tell you where I am before you tell me where you are, because I don't want to give you any spoilers or something. Are you playing it solo or are you playing it with friends? Or maybe even on a server or something? Third playthrough? Ah, I see. I think it's a good game. Definitely deserved a Labor of Love nomination. During the Game Awards, didn't really know who got that one though. There we go. Solo and with friends. Have you seen the Woodies in the Link channel? Oh yeah, I've seen them, yeah. Thanks for sending that in. I was rather surprised to, you know, of course I did know the video, I just didn't know how it was called, or what these guys were called. Come on, a little bit more vibrant, I think we can dare to be a little bit more vibrant. Vibrant? Works well with the orange as well. Perfect Christmas music? Oh yeah, you think so? Oh yeah. I hope my commentary is not too slow today. Again, I am a little bit tired from all the stuff that I did today. And my girlfriend is also asleep, so I do try to keep my voice down a little bit. She sleeps like a rock, but I still don't want to risk it, right? Would be unfair to her. I asked her if it was okay if I did not come to bed tonight. She just basically kept streaming. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, oh yeah, you're sure? And she's like, yeah, because tonight is the last night and then I'll have you all to myself. For the rest of the year. And I'm like, ah, okay. Perfectly balanced. Talking of music, the music is over. I need to select a second playlist. Hang on. Yeah, let's do this one. If you guys want, we can... Wow, okay. didn't think so many people would watch it during this time. What's it for you? Optimus Prime says nice. Thanks, Optimus. Unfortunately, behind all of this plastic steel, there is a regular human. Well, regular might be a little bit of a fetch, but, you know. But yeah, I'm glad that you like him. My first Primaris Captain for my own homebrew chapter. I'm very excited to finally see them come to life. Although I personally think I would have done this guy a little bit differently. Though the two power fists go really hard, not gonna lie. I was very happy when I saw that I had the option to do that, because I usually only see this model with either a chain or an energy sword. The problem is that the paint job is, in terms, so messy, like at times, that it is hard to say if, you know, small details like this are even on purpose or not. What's their progenitor? Their progenitor are the Imperial Fists. Because I think, as far as Space Marine Legions go, they are they are pretty much my favorite. From the original Legions. They just do their job and do it well. And I very much respect that. The Ultramarines are very similar in that regard. But I feel like the Imperial Fists embody the feel and the job description of a Space Marine more than the Ultramarines do, funnily enough. The Imperial Fists just come to a planet and build it up and defend it. That is very likable. Okay. By the way, I do not get any Discord notifications, so if you guys put something in Stream Parade for me to have a look at, please make sure to also mention it during the live stream. So I actually have a look over there. But yeah, what time is it for you guys? Because again, for me it's like past 3 AM now. It's almost half past 3. Dang, I actually need to hurry up a little bit. My girlfriend said I am to be in bed by 4 o'clock. Ooh. I don't dare to not follow, as she said. Because I love her, of course. Okay. That is quite sick. It's 10 AM for me. 10 AM for City Pie. That is a rather decent sick. 10 AM on a Saturday? Nice. Dex says 12:20 PM. Oh, 12:20 PM, so it's also getting rather late for you. So that's like 4 hours, so you're sitting in... I'm not sure if that's already East Coast USA or if that's still Spain. Am I too far off? I'm the same time zone as you, Brink? Oh yeah. Australia! Fuck, all the other way around. Holy shit, I completely messed that one up. Damn it. Very cool though. Glad to have you here, man. Or rather, mate. Right. There are some details left to be painted. And yes, Illuminus is the same... Illuminus is in the same time zone as me, right? Like, man... It's 4 AM for you, like almost. It's 3:30. Damn. Much respect that you're still awake. And this time I'm sorry for starting the stream so late. CityPie says courage and honor from the Philippines. Ooh, he's even got the Ultramarine slogan down. Hell yeah. A true blueberry enthusiast. Highly respectable. Bearded Draugr says I'm in the States, so it's only 8:24 PM. Also sent my most recent model to the parade. Oh hell yeah. Okay. Because I am kinda... I do need to look at a little bit something different. So, hang on. Let me pull that up. Oh, even the camera agrees. Needs a little break. Alright, hang on. Let me have a quick look at the stream parade. Alright, they're probably... Oh, they're quite a lot of stuff. Okay. Ooh, okay. Hang on. So, Bearded Draugr, is that from you? Oh, Tabletop Radio Hour! Hang on, that is a familiar name. Is that you? Oh yeah, I even see it in the profile pic. Yeah. You have been here, haven't you? Okay. It's like seeing an old friend or like an old classmate. Alright. Okay, that's a nice Votan, man. Really digging the armor. And the face as well. Those are very nice. Hell yeah. That's a great guy. He looks straight from Deep Rock Galactic. I don't know, he's very vibrant colors on him. Interesting. Indeed, I've been here before. Likewise, old friend. Hey, let's go. For the final stream of the year, we meet again. Very cool. And very cool model, by the way. Very nicely painted. It has a very certain vibrancy to it, which I highly appreciate. I don't know how to best describe it. It looks like the miniature has its own little bit of OSL effect. Many thanks. I mean, much appreciated. Thanks for sending that in. Oh my gosh, yeah, the Shame Awards. So yesterday, if you didn't know, oh my gosh, you even pointed out the small droplet of black. Bro. But yeah, bro, look at this freehand of an arrow. Are you kidding me? I had almost 20 people watching when this was the best I could do. It was really late in the evening, bruh. I had the illustrious, mediocre hobby sitting and watching me paint this abomination. Hang on, let me actually show that on painting stream. Optimus says hell yeah. Well, so I did paint this Lamenta yesterday. And as you can see, the left pauldron with the checkerboard, you know, this I actually did get done rather well. Of course it is a little bit wonky, but there's also a camera between me and the model, so I think that's all fair and well. The heart on the kneecap also looks quite nice. Iconography and regalia by hand is lit. Oh yeah, I really try my best to get better at that. I have a trait for you, hang on if you stay a few more minutes. But yeah, this is where the arrow was and I just completely covered it up in black. But I do have a miniature on my desk which I painted a couple of weeks ago. Just to make sure that I'll be able to show that a part of me actually is knowing what he's doing. A Stirland drummer from from Warhammer Old World. With the Stirland flag in miniature form on his drum. I think that's my best freehand of the year. I can't remember anything else that is even as good as this. But yeah, the arrow, like, you see this and then you go back to the arrow, right? Oh, bruh. That's glorious. Yeah, very proud of that. I painted that off camera though, so I was a little bit more focused. And we have also from Legionary Decanus, so he's all long and bad. He is, he's got his hands are actually inflamed from painting and building so much over the last days. Which is insane, because I have been doing nothing else but painting, building, and doing uni homework. But yeah, these are his Necrons, very vibrant as well, very digging all of the accentuating color. There are so many boring Necron schemes. This one is very nice, really like this one. And of course the Tau, we did have a look at those in the last stream. So, we've actually caught up on the entire stream parade. Let's go. Ooh, there are also no new entries in Coloring and Building Workshop. Interesting. But I won't have a look at that. Those are not in the stream parade, so maybe those shall not be shared in the first place. By the way, Jan, what's your favorite fantasy race? Thessalonas, my favorite fantasy race. I think elves. For the reason that, so elves can be very bland, but the reason is, like, what I think is, like, the elves are one of those races that can be very bland in a lot of descriptions, but a lot of people are also aware that the elves are very bland, and that's why they try to reinvent them all the time. So there are a lot of, oh no, not the pointy ears. Yes, sorry. I find them so interesting because there are so many different versions of them, right? So many different approaches to the way elves are portrayed in different media. Of course, the most interesting being found in women's romance novels, right? Don't blame them at all, by the way. Yeah. I think my favorite elf version was in Bernard Hannon's The Elves. The book series is literally just called The Elves. And yeah, he does know what he's talking about when he's writing about elves. Very, very cool stuff. And then I had a fantasy concept recently where somebody said, well, a 500-year-old elf warrior is probably looking very destroyed. Like just, you know, all the scars and wounds that he's taken over 500 years of battle. That's probably not going too hot. And I looked at that and I saw the concept sketches and I was like, holy shit, that's so damn cool. That's such a fresh approach to the elves. What's with you, Lunas? What's your favorite fantasy race? I think the dwarves are okay as well, but they really stick to their stereotypes. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but... well, I think they're very decent people, don't get me wrong. The Dawi? Bingo, there we go. I thought you might say that. The Dawi are a good choice. In opposition to the elves, they are very pleasant in every iteration they come in. Very neat. My girlfriend stirs, so I have to be a little bit quiet. Alright. Let me get some very light blue, lavender blue, to highlight the eye lenses. This brush is a little bit ridiculously long. Okay. By the way, one interesting take on the elves is by William King in his own book Quadrology, The Tetrarchs. The first book is called The Angels of Death. Really? Fun. That's fun. Thanks for the recommendation. I might check that out. Though I'll probably only find time for it after my diploma. Bruh. For that I'm currently working, so for everybody who doesn't know, I'm actually an art student. I'm studying arts and illustration at a local university, local academy. And I'm almost done. So my diploma is coming up next year in around about 9 months. A very fitting time frame to birth my mind child. And yeah, I'm the way that that's gonna go is I am currently writing a novel, and then I'll take very key and interesting scenes from that novel and I'll paint them in oil on canvas, and hopefully that'll end up with something to sell and something to exhibit in the best case, of course. So we'll see. It's fantasy in the age of muskets, dragon magic and musket fire. So we're talking almost, well, not really steampunk, right? But interesting. Very cool. Bernard Hannon had a similar approach. What should we write on here? I think that's like another nice detail. What should we write on here? Of course, something like, I don't know, Clarence or something. Like a name. Is a little bit long for that short, but maybe we have here a little bit longer. Actually, I don't have the lore for them ready, so I don't know which planet they would call their home. Though I would rather have them on a moving monastery, like the Phalanx of Swords. Or a, you know, battle barge fleet. Hang on. The elves ran away from their home planet and conquered the planet of humans. Okay, now it's getting really crazy. What? Oh, we're talking about William King here, right? Dang. Either there's 2 William Kings out there, or there's one William King who also wrote something for the Black Library. Because those books were... they were rough, man. Not gonna lie. I hope those are better, or it's a different William King. What do we want to write on here? Like honor? Should we try honor first? Can you see that? It's the Gotrek King. Okay, huh. This is very intense. I think that's fine. Yeah. I did use the American way of writing it without the U at the end. But... I think that's very fine. Yeah. It looks a little bit worse on stream, not gonna lie. Well. But yeah, that was quite intense. I'm not equipped at this stage of delirium to paint such fine things. But okay, he also wrote some of the Felix and Gotrek books. I mean, then he has to be pretty decent at least. I do need to do some panel lining with him. I think he's too dirty. It even says the elves are divided in 2 factions which are at war with each other. One treats the humans like second-class citizens, and the other, well, how to say it without getting censored? Alright, fair enough. The older tale of elves being fractured into 2 factions. I'd like to do something here, but the rest is just really just like freehanding stuff. Is there anything else that we can do here with him though? I'm thinking of maybe expanding the teeth that you can see here on his helmet. So these things right here, because they look rather uneventful. I thought of maybe maybe expanding them to the back. Like all the way here. We can also just brighten up the gold, can't we? Hang on. Do I have a nice, like, bright gold? I'll try Hoplite Gold from Army Painter again. That was the first color that we used. No. Hang on. Am I stupid? Of course not. Well, maybe I am stupid, but not in this case. I want to use some Ironbreaker. I'll highlight gold with silver. That's, of course, the best way to do it. My voice is very rough now. I think we'll keep going till like 4 o'clock, which is in like 15 minutes. And that's enough. Well, like the Drukhari? Yeah, I got that. It's always like elves and dark elves. It can't really go without it. My elven factions are at least fractured into 4 pieces. And no, it's not according to the elements. It's according to gods. There we go. Does it look cool? I hope so. It's a lot colder than I thought. Maybe some Seraphim Sepia to brighten up, or rather to warm the gold up, would have been a good idea. Yeah, that's okay. It is a little bit messy. And I think that's a little bit... That's definitely like on my end. Like I messed up the miniature somehow. I don't know how though. I don't know where exactly, what exactly I need to change. I think it's not a lot that there's going on right now, and yet it still feels too much, you know what I'm saying? I say as I continue to paint even smaller and more subtle details on here. It shouldn't really make too much of a difference now, would it? Should it? Will the book be in English or German? For me to read? I actually don't care either way. Depends a little bit on the translation and the localization. I do not mind reading English books at all. I am actually quite fond of them. In their, written in their original language. That being said though, I also appreciate German books. And I think maybe I should read them in German just to, because I am writing in German myself, to hone my skills by just reading. Get familiar again with phrases and stuff. No, the one you're writing. Oh, sorry, alright. It'll be in German. The first version will be in German, and after that I'll of course try to work on a translation myself. And, best case scenario, it's going to be a massive hit. Then, of course, translation shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. But I'll try to temper my expectations to not be let down if it doesn't go so well. Yeah, this gold is also like, this gold being different from the other gold. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's hard to say. Like as a concept, as a full concept, he doesn't look bad. And now with the small orange touches, it also works together with the rest of the Marines. The rest of the Space Marines. Hang on. Let me just set them up. So there we have him, and then we have one Marine here. Hellblaster here. Those have not yet gotten their last coat of paint, so they're a little bit more dull. But round about that. Doesn't really look like much of one coherent force, to be honest. Probably should have gone with a little bit more orange. I don't know. Maybe like a pauldron or something. But that's going to be way too much then. Maybe like on the cape? A little bit of freehanding? But yeah, I shouldn't do that right now. Not in this state. By the way, as someone who has like 15 years in writing fantasy and $3 under my belt, dang, I could give you some tips and advice if you're interested. Ooh. First of all, holy shit, 3 books is crazy. Not too shabby. Thanks you very much for the offer. I will think on that. I don't know. Part of me really wants to make sure that I write the book myself with only minimal input from professors. From my professors and the people around me to make sure that it, stays my vision. But the other part of me would probably be quite grateful for some help here and there. I don't know. Maybe. But thanks for the thanks for telling me. Now I at least know where to go if I need some, if I would have some advice. If I would ask for advice. There we go. Once again, one of those more intense jobs. Oh, it's so wonky. So rough. The way this brush behaves is a little bit unintuitive. I'm not used to these long bristles, especially not if they end in such a fine tip. That's very much unusual for me. I'll give you some tips on the story, but that was not my intent. I meant more on publisher and technical stuff. Ooh, that is definitely highly appreciated. I am in luck that a couple of my professors are also very well versed in the way that they do, like in the way that they have to, that they also have published books and know how to write manuscripts. But that is also always welcome, though I'm by far not at that stage yet. But yeah, for that I would really like to come back to you. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the offer. That's cool. I don't know who it said today, but I think it was Rice who said that this is probably one of the best communities on YouTube. Not very big, but definitely has the right kick to it. Very wholesome, very supportive, very nice. Okay. Come on. Okay. Where there's the difference between fantasy publishing and academical stuff? No, one of the guys, so we do have a course called Creative Writing, which is basically our version of just regular German lessons. Because apparently you need to offer German and politic courses on an academy for the students to be able to receive BAföG, so state support. But that what do I say? But yeah, one of those, like two of those professors have published a lot of stuff in like fiction, so fantasy and sci-fi as well. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean, that there's a difference. One of them even recently released this stuff. That's also very cool. I really appreciate about my university that all of our professors are actually in the field that they're preparing us for, right? They're actually working in there. I had like a guy, like my old politics professor. He was actually part of like Ubisoft, like a Ubisoft branch. That was highly interesting to see how they handle stuff. Of course, now that company has tanked all of their reputation and goodwill. But back then, That was very cool. Oh. Now I do not know what else I want to do with this guy. In terms of freehanding his cape. Like some flourishes would definitely be nice, but I don't want to just do, you know, the Art Nouveau Blood Angel flourish. I just do want to have it something a little bit different. Ubisoft had goodwill. I mean, yeah. Maybe not for quite a long time, right? Now I actually think, so after this I'm actually done. It is really hard for me to speak and go on. We've only been streaming for 1.5 hours, and there's still a lot of people left. I'll tell you what, I'll disappear for a quick second, just to refill my water. Okay, it's already 4 o'clock as well. My girlfriend will be mad if I don't shut it off now. Alright guys. Oops. Thank you very, very much for chiming in today. The last stream of the year. I hope for it to be a little bit more spectacular, as it is the end of a spectacular year, at least for me. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next year. I hope you guys have a very nice, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you then. You guys better prepare your New Year's resolution. And as I said in the Discord, there is... Ubisoft is right now. Ubisoft OBS Studio also like almost crashed, so I think that's another good reason to cut it today. Eluna says the only good game from Ubisoft are Heroes 5 and Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Ooh, I gotta like, Theinrich will definitely agree with you on that. Haven't played either game though. Very, very nice. Is there anything else that I do want to say today? My last words for... What happened with the stream window over there? What the fuck? Okay. This is getting cursed. The fuck? Merry Christmas. Guys, Happy New Year. Be nice to people. And I'll see you again next year. Bye bye.